Is there going to be a bubble in housing? We don't think so, and I'll tell you why. So I've been doing real estate since 2003. So I saw the last ride up and the crash down in 2008. And I think this time is different. In 2008, we saw prices plummet. We saw tons of foreclosures. And some people are asking, hey, prices have really risen. Are we going to see that again? Here are the two main reasons that I don't think that's about to happen. First and foremost, I think the demand has been real this time. And when I say real, I mean people are buying houses because they actually have a need for it. I mean, the pandemic has made people reevaluate the importance of home. People are like, hey, we want to have a place to escape to. And that has been fueled by actual demand, not artificial demand. Well, what would be artificial demand? Well, artificial demand before the last recession was driven by lending criteria that was just way too loose. I don't know if any of y'all remember this. You know that you could actually get a mortgage with negative amortization prior to the last recession. That means each month you made your payment, but you owed more. I mean, a lot of people got mortgages that, they couldn't afford, didn't really have a plan to afford other than the house appreciating. And then when things stopped appreciating, that made a lot of people upside down. A lot of people's payments were going up and they weren't in a position where they could make them. But that's not happening this time. The lending criteria are just a lot stricter and people buying houses are just in a lot better financial position than they were before the last recession. Secondly, I get asked, hey, if the market's gone up so much, could there be a bubble? Are we going to see a lot of foreclosures? I think the answer to that question is no, I don't think so. Because first of all, right now, who would get foreclosed? The market's been up 20% basically 2 years in a row. You've got equity no matter when you bought your house. I mean, the only reason you're getting foreclosed is you didn't try. You didn't even make one phone call. Hey, make one phone call to me. We'll get your house sold and you don't have to worry about it. And so I don't think we're about to see that because people have equity and people have a lot of equity. So listen to this. I mean, this is going to just blow your mind. It blew mine when I heard it. Homeowners now in America, their mortgage balance relative to what they owe, relative to what the house is worth, 41.9% of people owe less than 50% of the value of their house. They are not close to being upside down. Even when you go all the way up to 80% loan to value, there's double the amount of equity that people have now versus in 2006. And so people are not close to being upside down in their houses. And so you're not going to have this triggering like we did in 2008 when the market went down just a little bit. Everybody's underwater. Everybody can't make their payments. They were getting speculative loans. They didn't have any equity in their house. That's just not the situation right now. The other question I get asked is, what about forbearance? People had forbearance during the pandemic, and that basically means their payments were put on hold and they didn't have to make them. And that did help people as people lost jobs at the beginning of the pandemic. Well, what about that? Are those going to come back and be foreclosures? Well, once again, everybody's got equity in their house. The only way it would get foreclosed is if you just didn't care and you literally didn't do anything about it. Otherwise, you can sell your house for more than what you owe on it. And I think those two things are a big reason that we're really unlikely to see a housing bubble now. As for what's going to happen the rest of the year in housing, hey, I've always got opinions on that. I probably predicted the last 3 recessions 17 times. I don't know if you got that joke. But anyway, I'm always happy to give predictions. We do feel like we have a good look at what's happening in the market. And if you want to have that conversation about your real estate situation specifically, just reach out like so many of you do, and we'll see you again next week.